how eager I have been to watch this film. To see the resounding positive response around the trailer and to witness the hard work of Sidharth Malhotra, who has been associated with this project for the past 5 years. It is truly commendable on how the movie dedicated to our brave soldier Vikram Batra has shaped up and come into fruition. Not many people know about this, but Sidharth Malhotra and Vikram Batra's twin brother Vishal have been trying to tell this story for quite some time. After many deliberations, script changes, and production issues, it finally came to Dharma Productions to streamline the process, and they roped in the technical prowess of Tamil director Vishnu Vardhan to take control of the project. Not many people also know is that the casting of Sidharth Malhotra to play Vikram Batra is very much to do with the sentiment that the Batra family unanimously had when they interacted with Sidharth, and how he reminded them of their son and deemed it fit that Sidharth could do justice to playing him on the big screen. Vikram Batra, a Paramveer Chakra awardee, the pride of our country and nothing less than a national hero. He fought valiantly for the country. His slogan, Dil Mange More, was indicative of the might, vigor, and will of our bravest soldiers. The young captain who fought till the very end in the process of capturing point of 4875 in the Kargil War and was known as Shershaah, the enemies being knowledgeable of the soldiers' fearless ways. Shershaah, the film, focuses on the journey of Vikram Batra, a young, playful and filmy Punjabi boy, his intense romance with Dimple, his journey from university to joining the army, and the tactical and brave acts of the soldier with his regiment in the Kargil War. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it on Amazon Prime Video or not. The underwhelming aspects. Language. The only criticism that I have for the film is the attempt at characters, especially Vikram and Dimple, played by Sidharth and Kiara respectively, speaking fluent Punjabi to one another. This is usually the problem that takes place when North Indian Punjabi characters are portrayed in Hindi films and there is an attempt to provide a glimpse of how they might interact and sound with one another. This is a fear that I had when I heard Kiara Advani's dialogue in the trailer. Sadly, as I predicted, it is just a mix of predominantly Hindi with additions of Punjabi pronouns. What I mean by this is that if I in every sentence use chetta or macha, it doesn't make me more Malayalam or Tamil respectively. Similarly, with the additions of many twaddas, menus and galdas, it would have been better and more natural if both the characters spoke in Hindi with one another rather than this attempt at authenticity with the Punjabi language while barely scratching the surface of that goal. While I'm going to be raving about the chemistry of the two main leads in a coming few minutes, this was probably the only uncomfortable feature of the film for me. The good. Screenplay and direction. The story, screenplay and dialogues have been written by Sandeep Srivastav and the film has been directed by Vishnu Vardhan. And what I love about the process of this film's journey from a written script to what we saw on Amazon Prime Video is the technique and order in which the story has been told. Usually war movies tend to extend its running time, reaching close to the 3-hour mark easily. But I think with the advent of a slick, edited, impactful film like Uri, creators have realized how even films of a massive magnitude can be told with efficiency, tapping into even engrossing impatient viewers with a short attention span. The film is not showcased in chronological order, but goes back and forth between the Kargil War being fought and moments that provide context to where Vikram is currently. So whether it be his obsession with the army at a young age through the reruns of Paramveer Chakra in the 80s or the budding and pure romance between him and Dimple, the film never spends too much time in providing reference to context, and therefore the first hour is spent in understanding Vikram and his world, and the latter half focuses on war strategy and the tactical moves made by the Indian army. From a screenplay and directorial perspective, the film showcases a really well-planned and structured execution by both the creators. Music. Oh, how much can I rave about the music of this film? Do you guys have enough time? Because I have a lot to say. You know how much of a gripe I have with the lack of originality that we see in especially commercial Bollywood movies. Not only have creators ruined classics of which we had fond memories of, but they have butchered the essence of those songs and what they were intended to communicate. The film's musical album is an exception. I remember listening to Rata Lambiya and immediately wanting to dance on it, something that you guys saw on the channel this week. The melodious tune perfectly captures the meet cute and infatuation phase between Vikram and Dimple. Ranjha, sung beautifully by Jasleen Royal and B. Prak, establishes their eternal bond. Both the musical tracks are so soulful that I couldn't help myself but listen to them on loop. There are surprises, however, in the film. 2 songs that became my favorites after watching Shershaah, and I'll tell you more about it. Romance and chemistry. For whosoever is still confused about why there is a romantic storyline in a biopic of an Indian soldier who fought in the Kargil War, you have to understand that it's an extremely integral part of Vikram Batra's life. The innocence and purity of a love that blossomed from Punjab University, so much so that they achingly could never love again. Sidharth and Kiara share such magnetic chemistry with one another. Language aside, there is this electricity in the way that they stare at one another. Kiara gets teary-eyed every time she sees him, knowing very well that there will be an unfortunate chance that she may never see him again. You know, a lot of their moments may seem as what people would call Bollywood or over the top, but it's crazy to hear the interviews and anecdotes of the family members and Dimple Chima, as all of these moments are actually real. Am I an old hag to be absolutely floored by this romantic storyline? This may be the first time where a romantic subplot in a war film has assimilated so beautifully. What is it about old romance that it makes me want to be born in a different generation? Of not being invested in our phones, of not being consumed about greener pastures or public perception, just boundless affection for someone else. This truly resonates in probably my favorite song from the album called Kabhi Tumhe, sung beautifully by Darshan. The particular scene, and just for that hug to last a little longer, it just hits you right in the feels. Side note also, Kiara kya sundar roti hai man, and Sidharth in his army cut and leather jacket just fits the bill. War strategy, action and VFX. What I feared, and thankfully this did not materialize, was that a lot of war films don't really get into the nitty-gritty of warfare, and in this case, the strategy that goes into capturing various posts in the battlefield. Shershaah not only focuses on the battle at hand, Kargil War in this case, but also showcases the intense detail on how missions are executed in localities where there is a probability of civilian casualties. This elevates the film in not being just considered a generic war film that will be forgotten, but something that resonates with even army veterans themselves. As I have heard from the grapevine, they were thoroughly impressed by the war sequences that have been shot and choreographed. Credit has to be given to the action directors, Stefan Richter and Sunil Rodriguez, and the work that the team has put in with regards to working with the army officers and understanding the body language and etiquette required in such environments. The unsung hero that also deserves praise is Red Chilli's entertainment that has executed the VFX of this film. Never did I feel that the explosions and combat sequences of the film are gimmicky or over the top. There was a practicality in the action sequences that makes the film stand out and probably made me think about the hypothetical on how amazing it would have been in theatres. The supporting cast in the form of Shiv Pandit as Sanjeev Jambal, Nikitan Dheer as Ajay Jasrotia and Raj Arjun as Subedar Raghunath lent great support in the film and showcased the brotherhood and camaraderie within the force with ease. Another one of my fears with this film, which thankfully didn't materialize again, was that there is a portrayal of every Pakistani official or even soldier in Indian war films to be the most incompetent and stupid individuals. The film thankfully steers away from that and doesn't take the same route of making them come across as simply dumb individuals partaking in warfare. Sidharth Malhotra. Everyone doubted this man the moment he signed for the project. Unless you're a fan, you, me and everyone doubted whether he could pull it off. While I have stated that this man has always got the short end of the stick with criticism regarding his films, I can hands down without a doubt state that Shershaah is Sidharth Malhotra's career's best performance. The 5 years that he has dedicated to this role is evident, and I can see totally why the family fell in love with him. Sidharth possesses the boyish charm required for the romance with Dimple and the maturity and steadfastness that Vikram Batra possessed for battle. He has honestly killed it with this venture, and I'm just saying, hypothetical again, if this released in theatres, it would probably be Sidharth Malhotra's highest grossing film. The uneasiness of Vikram Batra, always raring to go, the filmy tadka in his interactions with everyone, the want to always break into banter and joking around, but to put on his game face when needed. Malhotra has captured the essence of our national hero extremely well, as B. Prak's aching rendition of his own song Man Bhariya played in the film's conclusion. I couldn't help myself but uncontrollably weep on how beautifully this film has been made and how well intended it is. Dedicated to Vikram Batra and the brave armed forces of India. You would not want to miss this one. And that was a video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.